Hi Sagittarius, welcome to the full moon reading for July, or beginning July 20th, 21st of 2024, depending on where you are on this orb. Full moons close out cycles. The direction that your reading is going in is number 3, consciousness, dark thoughts, but it's reversed, thank goodness. So I think when this card is reversed, it reveals a time of increasing light and clarity, right? Here comes the sun. You can have been through some dark times lately, but this is coming to an end now, and things are going to smooth out from here. So this portends happier times, and they may have already started. Your life force energy is being lifted. It's bringing more joyous experiences and increasing more positive results and thoughts and feelings. This card asks you to have more positive thoughts and to trust a little bit more. So that's good. All right, let's see how that plays out in your cards. The first column is where you find yourself at the time of the full moon, because we are navigating the lunar cycles with these readings, or because it's closing out a cycle. If you're consciously closing out something, you'll find it in this column. The center two cards are what you are thinking, what you're doing. It's you and how you're behaving, how you're feeling, what you're doing. It's you in this situation. And the last two cards are the probable outcome. Probable because some things we can change, some things, right, when we're forewarned, we're forearmed, and some things we are meant to experience. We've chosen to experience them, but always for our growth. I watched recently a program, an old series, Kung Fu, with David Carradine, about Shaolin monk, and whenever he reverts to his childhood, there's a lot of wisdom that comes from one of his masters. And I thought there was a very profound lesson that he had learned. And the Shaolin master said that our soul does not record time, it records growth. And I think that's exactly what this last column represents. It represents the growth. Okay, so that's a little aside note. Let's get started. Judgment card and the Four of Swords. So the Judgment card is just that. It's judgment, but it's also a reawakening, a rebirth of some sort. It's the clarion call. It's a call to action. However, we've been very inactive here with this card. Or maybe we're just planning, right? We're planning. This is the card of meditation. So the body is at rest, but sometimes the mind is still quite active. And it's important to get things down on paper with this card so that you can find that internal rest. And your mind isn't doing the monkey mind thing. So it's very good to journal, or if you're busy doing something, you want to write down plans that come up so that you don't have to continually think about them, and you can find some rest and some peace. This card is definitely asking you to find some rest, and maybe that's the call to action. The call to action can be to learn how to meditate, or to start journaling to quiet the mind. But it can also be calling you out of this. It's a general reading. Everybody's in a different situation. So the Judgment card is asking you to reserve judgment or to look at things differently, but there's also a rebirth with this card. It's kind of, it can be epiphanies. And so meditation may very well bring you some information, some epiphanies. Or when you're quiet, right? When you're feeling quiet, when you're doing quiet things, when you're doing mundane things like the dishes or in a shower or something, you may get some really wonderful epiphanies. Make sure you write them down. I feel that very strongly here. Yeah, wow. Nice. This is a wish card. So it's a wish fulfillment card. Make a wish is the meaning of this card. But it's also emotional fulfillment. We're feeling full. We feel like we have everything we need, especially on an emotional level. Negatively aspected, it can be gloating. I don't see the negativity here at all, though. So I do feel like there's a wish coming your direction, which is why maybe, it changes the way we're thinking, or our positive thoughts are creating something, because this card always says, it's Jupiter in Pisces, it always says what you think about, you bring about, right? So if your thoughts have changed to something more positive, it brings about that in your outer world. It reflects it outside of you. But it is a lot because it's Jupiter in Pisces, and so he even has a little bit of a belly there. So I would say careful with your intake of alcohol or substance or even food, because this may be a time where we can gain weight, especially if we are very inactive. But in any case, I think there's a call to action here with the Judgment card. It's a wake-up call. It's awakening to something. And it's good. You're behaving like the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. Pisces and Taurus. Pisces is an expansive energy. So there can be some spiritual, so on a very emotional level, our emotions can be expanding. You may be becoming very intuitive or empathic with the Page of Cups. You may, like I said, be getting some downloads. That's also important here with the Page of Cups. The Page of Swords is a very inquiring mind, right? It's my detective card. Whatever is thoughts that come up, and it can be on a spiritual level, it can be on a religious or a spiritual level for some people. We want to look into it. We want to investigate it. We want to understand it completely. The Page of Swords is somebody who goes to great lengths to get answers, to clear those questions in his mind. But goes to great lengths to do it. And it's Taurus related. So Taurus is associated with Venus. That's their ruling planet. And Venus is becoming visible and stronger. I think at the beginning of July it started. So there's something on an emotional level that's being activated for you right now. But it's kind of asking you to look deeper into things, to find the depth of your questions. Pisces doesn't really involve themselves with the things of the earth. It's beyond the veil. It's the aether, right? It's beyond the veil. It's the mystical. It's the strange, the weird. Pisces is associated with the moon card, and that's just high strangeness. So, like I said, maybe you're getting psychic images or, strange things happening, and you want to kind of look into it. Yeah, there's a strategy here with that Seven of Swords, and that goes quite nice with the Page of Swords. So it's very possible that you want to expand something. And so the Seven of Swords is getting you to think on your feet, to find some strategies. It's also the card of open enemies. So there can be maybe people around you that you're not trusting, and I am, or maybe you're not being trustworthy. That's also possible. And I'm saying that because of this card, but I'll get to it in a minute. However, you have three air signs or air cards here. So that's action, but it's a lot of mental energy that's being used at this time. This is a very strategic card, but again, we're kind of looking over our shoulder here, as we are here with this card. So this can often be open enemies, or just kind of wanting to secure your atmosphere, your situation around you. I got this card when there was a bear in my garbage, so I had to make sure that every day that the garbage was bungeed down really well so he wouldn't take the garbage bags out and drag them down the mountain. That kind of energy. So, or into the woods rather. So it's that kind of energy. It doesn't have to be scary. You just want to make sure that everything in your atmosphere is good and clear. And it's interesting because you have the Page of Swords there. So there are some questions in your mind for sure. And sometimes the Page of Cups can be insecurity, that we feel unsure, insecure. And so with that comes the Seven of Swords of like, okay, I'm going to make a strategy. I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen. And this is even also a very planning card, right? We're making plans towards the future, and at the right moment we'll pick up that sword and take action. And this can be actually you taking action. And remember, we've had some dark thoughts here. And so perhaps we're trying to figure out how not to allow that to happen again. What is our strategy for keeping things lighter or in the light? Now, the Nine of Wands and the Strength card. The Nine of Wands is biding your time. But again, it is the walking wounded card. And so he's kind of defending and protecting those Nine of Wands, which are his experiences in life, and not wanting to make the same mistakes twice. However, there's sort of a biding your time energy, and the Strength card gives you the courage to move forward, to not be so fearful, to not look back on the past all the time or the things that went wrong, and to move forward courageously. I'm going to pull another one for that. It's very often that the Strength card talks about taming the beast within, and that can be your fears, but it can also be your ego. There's a message that comes in with the Knight of Wands for me. And so there's a message, and again, it could be epiphanies, right? But it's something that gets things excited. And so it might be something that, lights a little fire under you and really wants you to get going. It's a very erratic energy. It's very excitable. I'm going to pull one more for that. But it can also give you courage and strength. You have the Five of Swords. That's a difficult card. That is, and especially in this position, you may get what you want, but it may not be the way you want it. Also, you can be looking back on some of the impact of your words, some of the messages that you give out, and you may be kind of reconsidering them and thinking about them and balancing out your ego, Sagittarius, because the Five of Swords is that your words have impact. And interesting. And it can be things that have been really hard won. It may have been a victory. Maybe you got what you wanted, but other people were hurt. Other people felt the sting, and so it's not a complete victory. And that's what I mean by you get what you want, but not the way you wanted it. Having said that, I do feel like the dark thoughts are starting to wane. Somebody may be dealing, and obviously this is not for everybody, but somebody may be dealing with paranoia. This is interesting. What does Spirit want you to know? The silence. Be still, for all the answers lie in the silence. And that's what you have here with the Four of Swords. And I think if you were to find time to meditate or quiet time to yourself, go by a stream. Water always kind of brings that. Well, it does for me. For some people, it makes them have to go to the bathroom. But I think there's a beautiful focus there on the sound of water that kind of takes you away from any negative thoughts. It's a very reassuring sound for me. But there is some answers in the silence here for you. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know if obviously it's not every Sagittarian, but there does feel like some paranoia here. Maybe even kind of manic energy, although the sun's not here, so I don't want to go that far. Maybe you're worried about your atmosphere, or yeah. And again, I think that's specific to one person. I don't think every Sagittarian is going through that right now. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful. I will return in 2 weeks with a new moon reading. Until then, take very good care, get some rest, do some meditating, and I will talk to you then. Thank you for listening. It's very much appreciated. Bye for now.